The opening round of championship fixtures aren't even complete yet, and we've already got our first managerial departure of this season. This league is absolutely nuts. So it's been confirmed that Preston North End and Ryan Lowe have parted ways. This is not even 72 hours after their opening night defeat at home to Sheffield United, where they lost 2-0. And this is what's been said on Preston's website. Preston North End can confirm that manager Ryan Lowe has left the club by mutual consent. So it's been agreed from both sides that this is the right thing to do. Ryan has joined the club in December 2021, leading us to 13th, 12th and 10th place finishes in his 2.5 seasons as the club's first team manager. Following discussions that took place on Sunday the 11th of August, it was mutually agreed that now was an appropriate time for a change to be made. Ryan leaves with the thanks of everyone at the club for his hard work, dedication and commitment, and we wish him and his family the very best for the future. It does say that for the two upcoming fixtures with Sunderland and Swansea in the Cup and in the League this week, Mike Marsh will be accompanied by Peter Murphy and Ched Evans, who will be in charge of the team. And arrangements beyond those two fixtures will be announced next week. Ryan Lowe does leave Preston having managed 124 games, winning 47, drawing 30 and losing 47, with a win percentage of, a points per game average of 1.38, a win percentage of 38.46 points. So it's not too bad. He's sort of, I'd say, right in the middle, comparing him to other Preston managers from the past. As it states, he has led them to just steady championship finishes, 13th, 12th and 10th. They were progressing slowly under Ryan Lowe, but in my genuine opinion, I was going to make a video anyway, after the weekend that we've had, of the three teams that worried me the most. And with that, the three managers who I think are in the most bother already. And Ryan Lowe at Preston was one of them, because there's been friction for a long time at Preston between their club and their manager, and a lot of that may be down to just the poor football that is played there. I mean, on Friday night, and I don't claim to watch Preston all that often, but on Friday night when I watched them, they were dreadful going forward, so boring, so lifeless. It's just a lack of innovation, a lack of creativity. It just looked so dull and so boring, and that is personified with their last 6 games. This is going back to the back end of last season, where Preston lost all of their 5 final games. If you include the opener of this season, they've lost their last 6 games without scoring a single goal, which is simply unacceptable no matter what level you are at. And my genuine opinion on Ryan Lowe is that he probably has taken Preston as far as he can. I mean, I'm not going to take anything away from what he's done. Getting Preston, a club with a much lower budget than a lot of the teams I would say they're fighting with in that top 10 area. I think the fact he's got them to 13th, 12th and 10th is admirable. But if you look at the data over the last season or so, Preston have massively overperformed in terms of how much they create chances, how many chances they actually put away. And if you actually look at the data, I think they were the second worst in the league last season for chances created, an XG, which, eventually these stats catch up with you. And that's why there was a little bit of concern, I think, around Preston this season for a lot of Championship fans who put them quite low in their predicted league table, and I was one of them. I genuinely worried that there could be a sudden drop-off this season, and just with the tension with Ryan Lowe and the fan base and everything there, it just felt like it wasn't a million miles away from, a collapse. I don't think anybody expected it to be after one game, but I do find the timing of this incredibly interesting, because we already knew last season that things weren't sunshine and rainbows at Preston with Ryan Lowe. So I'm asking the question, why didn't they make this decision last season? It's a mutual thing, so both parties have agreed this is the right thing to do. So what was the point in giving him a full pre-season? What was the point in giving him 2/3 of a transfer window to bring in players that he wants in his system? What was the point in giving him one game before making a change? Yeah, I guess the argument is the earlier you make a change, the better. And they've got it out the way now, so maybe they've, stopped the inevitable from happening a lot earlier. But if there was already a bit of uncertainty there, why not do this in the summer? Why not shake hands and part ways in the summer? Because I think everyone could see he'd taken them quite a distance, but I think 10th is Preston's ceiling. They need a manager that's a little bit more creative, a little bit more attack-minded, someone who's a little bit more inventive to take them into that next level. So this was always coming for me, and I just don't get why now is when they've made the decision. They should have done it at the start of the summer, so someone could come in, fresh ideas completely, have a full window bringing in their signings, and therefore having a pre-season where they could get Preston set up playing their new style of play. But now, the new manager's going to have to come in with what might be, by the time they come in, a week to go in the transfer window, try and get some sort of squad together that might suit their way of playing, or they're going to have to deal with just what they've got currently down at Deepdale. And I think this just puts Preston so far behind other clubs. We've noticed this from a Borough point of view, how much more prepared we are this season than we were last year, and the difference that's made throughout pre-season. And if you give the other teams a head start, you're playing catch-up, and it's so tough to achieve your goals if you're giving other teams a head start. And I feel like now Preston are really at a disadvantage with whoever comes in and how long it might take them to get off the ground with the team playing their way in a system they play with, possibly players they want to bring in as well. So the timing, I think, in regards to the new manager is only going to be a detriment to Preston. However, I do also feel like Preston fans will be happy with this decision, because all I've seen on social media this weekend are fans already calling for Ryan Lowe's head. This is absolutely a continuation from last season. This is not just Preston fans being reactive after one bad game. This has been coming for a while, and maybe the tipping point was Sheffield United, I don't know, but I think Preston fans will just be happy they will have a fresh start of some sorts, but how far back it might put them this season, I don't know. So, yeah, I think there will be a degree of happiness across Preston, albeit for me, looking at it as a neutral, yeah, I don't know what this might now mean for Preston's season. I guess the hope is whoever comes in hits the ground running, but equally, if things continue to be a little bit chaotic and the new manager doesn't get a tune out of these players, Preston could end up being in a bit of bother this season, and it could end up snowballing into possibly a fight towards the bottom end of the table. So it's a brave decision, but they've made it early, which is probably the right thing, albeit they should have just done it before the summer. I'd be interested to see what Preston fans think of this, because I think there's positives in terms of they get a manager out that they didn't like, and they can start afresh, which I think is overdue at this point, but equally, they've just missed the perfect opportunity to do this very thing, and now they've just made their start of the season so much more difficult and tough than it really, really should have been. So, yeah, any Preston fans watching, let me know your thoughts in the comments section. I'll be very interested to hear to which point of view you come at this from. And if you're interested in much more Championship content, do it a like on this video to support the video and the channel out, and subscribe for much, much more. And yeah, there we go. Managerial departure number 1. And we've not even seen the final game of round 1 yet, which is tonight against Luton and Burnley, which shows how mad the Championship is. As I alluded to at the start of the video, I was going to make a video on the 3 clubs of the 3 managers that I was worried about after the opening weekend. Kind of pointless now that one of them is gone, but I still might make videos on the other 2 that I am a little bit concerned about, or the 2 clubs I'm concerned about. Or I might just leave it and do a roundup of the opening weekend's games after Luton and Burnley play each other tonight. So stick around if you want to hear my thoughts on that. But until next time, guys, a big thank you for watching. The Championship is as bonkers as ever, and it's back with a vengeance. See you all in the next one.